The Ryan Hinton funeral was held on Sunday. Today, the coroner released a report. Let's go to the updates of the story.
I want to start off with saying, first of all, our condolences to the grieving families, because this is not easy for anybody. And no matter what family you are, there are victims in this, and they're not just the people that have passed away. It's really the family members who are left to deal with their grief. So in the interest of hopefully easing some of the pain, and also to be able to provide the media, and you have sent me many written requests asking for the preliminary autopsy findings, and we've always worked well together in trying to provide the information and the truth to the public. So I'm counting on you to do that here. And so I thought I will give you a copy of this when I'm done with the press conference, but I wanted to at least give you the preliminary autopsy findings on Ryan Hinton. So Mr. Hinton had 3 gunshot wounds to his body, and this is in no particular order, but there was one in the left forearm, and there was an entrance wound and an exit wound, and it was soft tissue injury only. Did not contact any bone, and just skin wounds, entrance and exit. There was a second gunshot wound in the left lateral chest, so underneath the axilla, meaning the armpit, and that one did traverse the chest, and it did traverse through the left ventricle, and it exited the chest near the sternum. We believe that is the lethal wound. There was a third, basically just beneath the skin wound, and it was in the right posterolateral chest, adjacent to the shoulder, and it was soft tissue only. It traveled beneath the skin and ended just beneath the skull, and we were able to retrieve that bullet. So Mr. Hinton's cause of death is a gunshot wound to the torso. Left lateral chest, we believe, was the lethal wound. And his manner of death is homicide.
That's right, folks. Ryan Hinton was shot 3 times. They don't know what order the shots came in. One shot was under the arm, under the armpit on the left side, running past the officer. As he ran, it seems parallel with the officer, he was shot in the armpit and it exited his chest. The other shot hit him in the forearm somewhere here. And I guess, I'm assuming, when that shot went through the underarm, it spun him and it hit him in the other side, the third shot. That bounced around and exited near the skull, or the back of the head, I think they said.
The death then would have been what happened. And did you recover that bullet, or was it the other? That was the one you did not recover?
No, there were pieces of that bullet that we recovered, but not the entire bullet, no.
And he basically bled to death then would have been what happened?
We didn't have a scene response. We only responded to the hospital, so I'm not sure what happened at the scene. So.
The third bullet that you were able to retrieve from the right posterolateral chest.
No, it was recovered from the neck, just below the skull.
So you're saying he was shot in the back?
No, I said he was shot in the right posterolateral near the shoulder.
Almost that angle that you see in that body cam.
I cannot comment on the body cam. First of all, there was so much motion, and I am not a body cam expert.
I honestly thought he was shot in the back, but it appears he was shot in the side. It's still, to me, this does show that the officer was not in direct fire of Ryan Hinton. He wasn't in front of Hinton, or the shots would have been in body, in mass. They would have been dead-on shots, not shots with him running away, is what I'm saying. So I stand my ground when I say I believe that Ryan Hinton's, the shooting itself was problematic. The shooting did not need to occur the way it did. I still do not see the gun that they say he pulled. I cannot see that in the video, so that all remains.
And I get a little motion sick anyway, so that's not my cup of tea. So you're going to have to ask somebody about the body cam footage. Yeah.
So can you then talk about where that bullet entered that body in plain speak and where it exited?
It entered the side of the chest. It impacted the left 7th rib, and then it traveled through the left side of the chest, through the left ventricle, and then out the front.
And then the other bullet, how would that bullet have, in plain speak, entered and exited?
It entered, plain speaking, I mean, I'm a physician. This is right posterolateral chest, is, near the shoulder, and then traveled up underneath the skin, and then ended at the base of the skull without impacting bone or anything along the way. It was all soft tissue beneath the skin.
That would have had to be then as he was going down.
You're going to have to talk to somebody about that, because again, I can't comment on the body cam footage or what position his body was in. So
we got the coroner's report, and we have them not releasing the name of the officer because, well, according to an Ohio law, they can't. Well, they could if they chose not to follow that law, which is being contested. The state of Ohio is being sued because many other victims or many other people that have encounters with police have been going through the same mess, which is this Marsy's law. Now check this out. Ohio has a law that's supposed to protect the identity of victims. But the police departments in Ohio tend to use it to protect their officers. Because their officers say, I was afraid. In this case, the officer who shot Ryan Hinton says, I was afraid, and Ryan Hinton pointed a gun at me, therefore I am a victim. See, in a Ryan Hinton story, the police department, their argument is that Ryan Hinton was the bad guy, and the officer that took his life, was actually the victim of something. The victim of having to shoot Ryan Hinton 3 times. He shot at him 5 times and hit him 3 times. The other thing is this. Third update. I got 3 updates. My last update is this case is under investigation.
Did he not have a gun? Did he drop the weapon? Did he point the weapon? Did he run away from the officers? Did he cause or present a threat to the officers?
A spokesperson for the prosecutor's office would not confirm if a grand jury investigation is underway. In a statement, Hamilton County Prosecutor Connie Pillich called this a normal procedure. Quote, we want a complete and thorough investigation in which we gather all the information before reaching a decision on how to move forward. In Cincinnati, Connor Steffen, WCPO 9 News.
Ohio's going to determine if they're going to be pursuing charges against that officer, whoever that officer is, this mystery officer. But I got to say, man, it is the opposite of justice, where a young man's life is taken by a police officer and we don't get to know anything about the officer that did it, but we get to know everything about the young man who's now deceased. We see this time and time again. The deceased goes on trial, but the person who shot him, no mention. We don't know if the officer was drunk, high, or medication or what have you. But we do know the officer, whoever he is, this mystery officer with an itchy trigger finger who's very afraid of 18-year-old men. We do know he was in plain clothes. He was an undercover cop. He arrived on the scene, and within 6 minutes, he shot 5 times, and 3 of those shots hit Ryan Hinton. We have a city, actually a state. No, actually, this is nationwide. We have a nation full of people wondering, is there going to be justice in this case? And what would that justice look like? Is there going to be more transparency? What are the cops going to, fill us in? When are we going to get a real good look at that body cam footage? Can we see the body cam footage? Up close, can we get some forensics on that body cam footage? Why is it only one officer had a body camera that was on the scene? There were multiple officers. They all chased different people. Nobody turned around. No one looked. There's nothing else other than 5 seconds, 6 seconds of footage, because that's all I've seen. There's got to be more to it than that. Where's the footage of them finding the gun near the body? I want to see the footage of that happening. See, I don't believe cops just because they make a story. I want to see the evidence that proves their story. The same way they want us to prove our stories in court, they need to prove their story. I don't see that happening right now. Ryan Hinton lost his life, and we don't have any proof that that needed to happen at all. So there has to be some transparency. Ohio has a history of black men losing their lives to law enforcement. I remember covering the Tamir Rice story, the John Crawford story. That's just two that I can think of very quickly. It's amazing in an open carry state. 1, 2, 3 different lives, all black, all male, that were taken in Ohio that since I've been covering this content, and I'm sure there's more, were all presumed to be armed in an open carry state. Having a gun in an open carry state should not be a death sentence for anyone. I'm going to continue to update you on this story. And I'm going to continue to stand by my point of view on this, that unless you can produce evidence that shows Ryan Hinton pointed a gun at the officer, that officer needs to go to jail. He needs to be charged by that state prosecutor, and he needs to be tried and hopefully convicted. Prove that he needed to take those shots. He's the only officer who shot anyone. The other young men are all fine. All 3 of them were apprehended at some point. Nobody else has as much as a paper scratch. And they all ran. But Ryan Hinton is the only one who didn't get to go home. He's the only one who won't see his 19th birthday. Join us here on this channel. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack as we continue to cover stories just like this, always calling it as straight as possible and not falling for the okie doke.
Perfect. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Now, Google thinks this next video is going to be perfect for you. It's right up your alley. So click the next video, watch that with me, and let's keep this politics going. You're built for this.